Hey, how's it going? This will be probably a little bit shorter of a video. I'm gonna correct something yesterday. The word was from Genesis 1 verse 2, and the earth was is not hela, it is heya. Heya. Okay. I checked myself out because I think it is extremely important to not put out misinformation concerning our Father's Word. We want to stay biblically correct and not so much politically. I'm not concerned with that very much. If you treat other people the way you want to be treated, that will all just happen. Anyway, we are in Genesis chapter 1, and the first day, we have been through God, the catapult, the overthrow of Satan, the rebellion. When God utterly destroyed that first earth age, it is documented. You can go back to the previous video and go through the Bible. Don't listen to me. Go to the Bible. Go to Jeremiah. Go to 2 Peter. Go to Job and document this first earth age for yourself. You shouldn't listen to me, or you shouldn't listen to any other man. We should listen to our Father. I'm not going to get away and talk too much here, but in the so the overthrow happens. God moves upon the waters. You just have a bunch of water and everything that is earth coming together, and he's putting it together with the power of his word and the power of his imagination, bringing these things to fruition, working in the Lord's days. Each of these days is 1,000 years. I mean, why wouldn't it be? Whenever Peter documents this, one day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day to God. It's no secret. It's not complicated unless we make it complicated. There's no reason to try to protect God. This book will all settle itself out as it goes along. If you're patient and you read it and you take Christ's yoke upon you and you learn of him. It's a beautiful thing. So the first day, God made light. Not the sun, not the moon. That will come later in later verses. He just made Christ. Christ is that light. He's hope. That was the end of the first day. God separated the darkness from the light, and we kind of do that ourselves in this life. Children of light and the children of darkness a lot of times don't have much to do with one another, and much of that can be sometimes because both sides are somewhat hard-headed. I'm in the middle. I really don't. I'm not in the middle. I'm a child of light. But what we're here to do as children of light is subject ourselves to some discomfort for our Father to attempt to help him bring back that 1/3 that Lucifer lied to, deceived, and who followed him thinking they was going to get anything from him besides death. He doesn't give things away, he takes. That's all Satan does. If he's giving you something, he's setting you up to take something from you far worse. Enough of that, enough of me. So let's get into this second day. I'm going to begin in verse 5, where we're finishing up God creating light and separating. So, verse 5, Genesis chapter 1. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So verse 6 in Genesis 1. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. I'll go ahead and verse 7. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. Verse 8. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. I'm going to stop right here. So we're going from verse 6 in Genesis 1 to verse 8 in Genesis 1. 3 verses, and he has finished the second day. What this means is, this is not complicated, okay? So he said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. Remember when God moved upon the waters and it began everything? Well, this catapult, this overflow, the earth was all underwater. So what God's going to do here is he's going to take part of the waters and he's going to create what we would call an atmosphere. If you do the metric tonnage of the water hanging over us, it is a firmament. So what that done was the waters that was over top of it, they come up here and you now have dry land. And God divided the waters from the waters. When he ripped apart this, now part of this water is now a firmament hanging in what we call the heavens. And you can see it, you can feel it. Gravity works within this firmament of the heavens that we know and that we are capable of moving around in really well. Men are amazing creatures, and science is really an amazing thing when you put it together, when it works and agrees with common sense and things that are natural. Some men would disrespect God and do unnatural things with science, and unfortunately, in my opinion, some of it has been corrupted. People with agendas and the lords of this earth will buy scientists, and they will say pretty much anything they wanted to say for the right amount of money. Here we have documented that God raised up a firmament on the second day, and now we have dry land. It's beginning to dry out, and it's going to become inhabitable for the things that will need to sustain flesh eventually, is where we're going with this. The heavens have already been made. We were all there for this in a different way. Light is that maybe they measured it at 186,000 miles per second. I'm not sure how they measured that. Seems I think probably the fastest thing we have is around 20,000 miles per hour. I'm not positive on that. Don't quote me on it, but 20,000 miles. Okay, let's say 50,000 miles per hour would be the fastest thing we have, and that would be in very near zero gravity. That we can travel that fast, because when we get into the more gravity we get into, the more friction it causes, and we don't have anything that can't burn up, because we are in an imperfect situation. Light is perfect. God made it. He said it was good. We won't understand dark matter because it's just not going to make sense to us for a while. I'm not going to go on anymore today. I'm going to wrap it up here at about 10 minutes. And I want you to ponder these things that we're going through here and work them over in your mind. And this is getting easier. Some better equipment. Sometimes I speak better than others. And today is little more difficult. I'll try to find something busier to wear next time. So anyway, um, God bless you. He knows all your needs. He knows all your cares. He knows all that you're going through. And what he wants more than anything is for you to talk to him. If you talk to him and you ask him to reveal himself to you, it will happen. It may not be tomorrow, but you have open Pandora's box, so to speak, and um, he will reveal himself to you. Make peace with your Father. Time's short. Love y'all. Godspeed.